My name is Jessica Beccarini, and my action research project for my master's in social emotional learning is Learning Through Play: Impact of Game-Based SEL Instruction on Exceptional Learners. I am a special education resource teacher. Since 2014, I have noticed that the number of students on my caseload who require specially designed instruction in behavior or social skills has increased from 56% to 78%. I designed my project to have a positive impact in this area. This project focused on teaching social emotional learning skills during structured play to facilitate student identification of emotions and regulation strategies for students in primary grades receiving special education services. I used play to teach identification of emotions and regulation strategies in hopes that my students would synthesize this learning more readily and be able to generalize it to other settings. Success in social emotional competencies increases success in academics, and being skilled in these areas increases the likelihood that students who have been identified as eligible to receive special education services will experience a better quality of life. I proposed that using cooperative play-based games integrated with explicit instruction across 30-minute intervention sessions would have a positive impact on the self-regulation performance of students in kindergarten and first grade who receive special education services. By piquing student interest and maintaining engagement through structured games, the teacher may find that students of all abilities are more readily able to encode, store, and retrieve skills in social emotional competencies. So I asked, how do structured games impact the development of social emotional competencies, to include being able to identify an emotional zone and then initiate a coping strategy, in primary grades for students with mild to moderate disabilities receiving special education services? The literature shows that students who receive special education services are more likely than their peers to demonstrate behavioral difficulties and are less responsive to the general curriculum, such as shown in the study by McCormick et al. In 2019. In 2009, Martin Schubick's study revealed that games can serve a dual purpose of engaging reluctant learners and helping them to synthesize new learning. In 2007, Kim T. Muser and Alan S. Belak demonstrated that learning based on typical SEL instruction is hampered in students who have cognitive impairment or memory difficulties. A 2014 study conducted by Botts et al. Showed that activity-based instruction is highly effective for teaching things like literacy to young children, particularly those with learning difficulties. In 2018, Dr. Thad Polk demonstrated that emotions are intimately connected with the storage of memories and they can drive learning. I selected students who were already eligible to receive specially designed instruction in the areas of behavior or social skills because they were demonstrably under-responsive to general education instruction regarding self-awareness and emotional regulation. I also included their general education teachers as participants by giving them a survey before and after the interventions to find out their perspectives of the skills their students were demonstrating in the regular classroom. After gaining parental consent and student assent, I conducted individual assessments with each student to determine their ability to name emotions and identify regulation strategies. I performed these assessments before and after conducting the intervention sessions. I then implemented the intervention sessions using games such as Zones of Regulation Bingo, Lemonade Shake-Up, and Dinosaur Escape. As each student encountered an emotion during gameplay, I would pause the gameplay to teach a regulation strategy. Attendance for each participant was tracked to ensure that every student participated in all intervention sessions before being assessed on their new learning. Data from the surveys and checklists were entered into password-protected programs to demonstrate quantitative skill snapshots of progress over time in bar and line graphs. All of the participants were able to name at least 6 emotions and at least 2 regulation strategies. According to teacher survey data, the overall growth for all the surveyed areas was 36%. The highest growth area was in self-regulating to use words instead of physical aggression, with an average growth of 75% in this area. On individual student assessments, the average growth in identifying emotions was 88%. The most astounding growth was in being able to identify regulation strategies, for which the average was 223% growth. This was corroborated by what the teachers were seeing in their classrooms. I concluded that using play to explicitly teach skills to exceptional learners is effective. Students generalized their learning to their regular classrooms. This resulted in teachers actually approaching me to talk about positive aspects rather than concerns. Play gives the learning brain sparks of delight and helps cement into memory the things learned during play. Play is culturally relevant, intersectional, and engaging. Play can be used with people of all ages and abilities. It is a powerful tool in an educator's instructional toolbox. More research is needed to determine if using play-based SEL instruction will accelerate student learning to such an extent that they can exit from special education services in behavior or social skills. Additionally, research is needed to determine if using play in general education classrooms might correlate with a reduction in students being referred for specially designed instruction in behavior or social skills. Thank you for listening. If you want to learn more, feel free to connect with me. I would be happy to share my resources and my learning with you. Scan the QR code or email me at playbasedsel@gmail.com.